Vikings, let's win the game.
Vikings fans, buckle up. This week in Minnesota is not for the faint of heart. Kevin O'Connell opened up about why one of our key offensive weapons has vanished from the stat sheet. There's a revealing twist about TJ Hawkinson's true role in the offense, a serious rumor linking the Vikings to a recently released linebacker, an ongoing mystery surrounding who'll start at quarterback against the Eagles, and, to top it all off, a bombshell involving one of our coaches whose name is suddenly being mentioned in Baltimore. Stick around, because that last one will blow your mind. Before we dive into all that, let me say this real quick. Hit that subscribe button. It's completely free and helps this purple community grow. Smash the like button too, because that tells YouTube to share this video with even more Vikings fans across the country. And don't forget to drop a comment below. This space belongs to everyone in Vikings Nation. Now let's jump right into it. Kevin O'Connell just laid it all out, and his explanation caught a lot of fans off guard. For weeks, people have been wondering why one of the team's top offensive targets has suddenly disappeared from the stat sheet. And to be honest, it wasn't just a feeling. His receptions dropped, his production fell off a cliff, and everyone was left asking, what happened to our star tight end? Well, O'Connell revealed that none of this is random. Hawkinson is being used in a completely different way, far more as a blocker than as that dynamic downfield threat we're used to. According to O'Connell, it's a conscious sacrifice, part of a strategy to keep the offense afloat while the offensive line battles through injuries. A lot of guys are giving up stats to do what it takes to win, he said, more or less. And honestly, it makes sense. When your protection is hanging by a thread and someone like Myles Garrett is lined up across from you, someone's got to absorb that hit. That someone, in this case, is the tight end making over $16 million a year. But that raises a tough question. Is it worth sacrificing one of your best receiving weapons just to patch up protection? O'Connell believes that once the starters, Darrisaw, O'Neal, and the crew, return, Hawkinson will go right back to being the matchup nightmare we saw in 2023. Until then, though, he's stuck doing the dirty work. And to be fair, you have to respect that. Coming off a major knee injury, he could have easily played it safe, but instead, he's throwing himself into the trenches. That kind of grit doesn't show up in the box score, but coaches and teammates notice. The interesting part is that even while blocking more, Hawkinson remains one of Carson Wentz's favorite clutch targets. So why not feature him more in other situations? Quick throws over the middle could help both quarterbacks build rhythm and confidence. Honestly, this whole situation shows that the offense is still under construction. The blueprint is there, but the balance isn't quite right yet. What do you think? Is O'Connell right to change Hawkinson's role because of the injuries? Drop your take, Purple Faithful, and don't go anywhere. The next story changes everything you thought you knew about this situation. And speaking of that, O'Connell opened up even more this week. This time, he went straight to the point and explained why TJ Hawkinson hasn't looked like himself since returning from that knee injury. And what he said completely reshaped how fans see it. According to the coach, nothing happening with Hawkinson is accidental. It's all part of a carefully designed plan to steady the ship until everyone gets healthy again. O'Connell said he personally asked Hawkinson to temporarily redefine his role. Instead of being that wide-open target down the middle racking up yards, he's become a tactical soldier, staying into block, picking up blitzes, and doing the thankless work that most fans never notice. The coach even used the word sacrifice, saying that mindset could be what holds this team together through the storm. And honestly, it checks out. Hawkinson came back from a brutal ligament tear, a long rehab, and still stepped right into the fire. Sure, the numbers are underwhelming. Only 19 catches, about 150 yards, and a single touchdown so far. Not what you expect from one of the highest-paid tight ends in the league. But when you understand the context, it adds up. Fans are frustrated with his contract, calling it overpaid, but O'Connell is clearly protecting his quarterbacks. With Brian O'Neal and Christian Darrisaw banged up, Hawkinson's become the insurance policy that keeps the offense moving. And O'Connell admitted that once the O-line is whole again, number 87 will get back to doing what he does best, torching defenses. There's another overlooked point too. Carson Wentz has been leaning on Hawkinson in crunch time drives, which shows trust hasn't gone anywhere. And with rookie J.J. McCarthy nearing his return, expect short, over-the-middle routes to feature heavily in his transition. Honestly, O'Connell looks like he's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. He's taking the heat now to build something sustainable later. Still, it only works if the offense starts winning games. So what do you think? Is this new version of Hawkinson's smart strategy or a sign he's still not 100%? Drop a comment below. Only here do you get the real fans' take on the Vikings. And stay tuned. The next one might just shake up the entire defense. Now this one's got everyone talking in Minnesota. The Las Vegas Raiders just released linebacker Jermaine Pratt, a proven hard-hitting veteran with 7 NFL seasons, and his name is already surfacing around the Vikings facility. And honestly, with how banged up this defense has been, it's impossible not to think, should Kwesi Adofo-Mensah make a move? It makes perfect sense. The team has been gutted by injuries, and even with the bye week approaching, there are still big question marks about who will be ready. O'Connell pulled off a heroic win over the Browns in London without 7 starters. 7. And in that kind of situation, when a quality linebacker hits free agency, it's natural to ask, why not us? Pratt may not be a superstar, but he's steady and experienced. Over 100 tackles a season in recent years, playoff experience, and a high football IQ that could help immediately, especially with Ivan Pace Jr. struggling to recapture last year's impact. And we know Brian Flores demands intelligence and aggression in equal measure. The best part? Pratt would come cheap. The Raiders already paid part of his deal, so the cost would be minimal. Of course, Kwesi would need to find out why the release happened so suddenly. Was it locker room drama, personal issues, or just a coaching decision by Pete Carroll trying to shake things up? If it's the latter, this could be a rare opportunity worth taking. The Vikings desperately need depth, and Pratt checks every box Flores loves. Tough, physical, fearless, and good in coverage. A weakness we've seen too often this season. Picture him lining up next to Jordan Hicks and Danielle Hunter, giving this defense the flexibility it's been missing. It could stabilize the middle and make those crucial third downs a lot less painful to watch. The only question is whether the front office will act fast enough. Kwesi is known for patience, but maybe this time boldness is the right play. A low-cost veteran with playoff experience and the perfect skill set for this scheme sounds too good to pass up. What do you think? Would you bring Pratt to Minnesota or let him walk? Drop your thoughts below because only real Vikings fans debate moves like this. And stick around, the next story dives right into the most polarizing question of the week: who starts at quarterback? Now shifting gears back to the offense, this one's dividing the fan base. Everyone wants to know who's going to start under center against the Eagles, J.J. McCarthy or Carson Wentz? According to Kevin O'Connell, the answer depends on way more than McCarthy's ankle. The rookie has missed 3 games with that high ankle sprain, and O'Connell made it clear, being healthy isn't enough. McCarthy has to show he's learned from those early mistakes and can command the offense like a pro. Because let's be honest, that start was rough. 3 picks, 9 sacks, and the game just looked too fast for him. O'Connell wants to see improved footwork, faster reads, and more confident decision-making. The truth is, this time off might have helped him more than anyone expected. McCarthy's been watching Wentz closely, and Wentz, to his credit, has been solid. Quick decisions, balanced play, and rhythm. The offense flows better, and Justin Jefferson's been thriving again with 22 catches and over 300 yards in that span. But now comes O'Connell's biggest dilemma. Go back to the future of the franchise or ride with the veteran who's getting results? It's a decision that could define not just the season, but the coach's reputation. Bring McCarthy back too soon and you risk stunting his confidence. Wait too long and fans will say you're playing scared. There's also the matter of timing. McCarthy was taking over 3 seconds per drop back early on, compared to Wentz's average of about 2.5. That's a massive difference in the NFL. O'Connell said the rookie's been working on that in practice, syncing his footwork with his reads. What's encouraging is the locker room vibe. No one's turned on the kid. In fact, veterans say he's more focused and humble than ever. So here's how it looks. If McCarthy shows enough in practice, he'll be back against the Eagles. If not, Wentz keeps the job for now. Either way, this decision will split the Defend the North faithful right down the middle. And trust me, the next topic could shake the entire league. Brian Flores is at the center of it. And to wrap up this wild week, here's the bombshell. Brian Flores' name is starting to pop up outside of Minnesota. Rumors are heating up that the Vikings defensive coordinator could be on the Baltimore Ravens' radar if John Harbaugh's seat keeps getting hotter. Yep, the longest tenured coach in the AFC North is under pressure, and fans are calling for a change. The Ravens have blown 8 double-digit leads since 2022. 8. And their once dominant defense has cratered to 32nd in the league. In Baltimore, that's almost unforgivable. After 17 years, patience is wearing thin. And here's where Flores fits in. Everyone knows he's one of the sharpest defensive minds in the NFL. He's completely transformed the Vikings defense. Aggressive, unpredictable, full of identity. He adjusts on the fly, pressures quarterbacks, and gets production out of players other teams gave up on. No wonder Minnesota fans are already saying, if Baltimore wants him, they'll have to pry him from us. Flores knows the AFC North well, spent time in Pittsburgh, understands the physical brand of football there, and fits the Ravens' personality perfectly. Tough, disciplined, relentless. But for Vikings fans, even hearing his name linked elsewhere is terrifying. The man rebuilt this defense from the ground up. Losing him now would be brutal. Sure, the Ravens are also looking at names like Jesse Minter, Clint Kubiak, and Dan Lanning, but Flores is the one generating buzz. And it's easy to see why. Players love him, he speaks the language of modern defense, and unlike most coaches, he tailors his scheme to his roster. That's rare. If Baltimore really moves on from Harbaugh, this could become one of the offseason's biggest storylines, and in Minnesota, it would feel like chaos. The Vikings finally found defensive stability, and losing the architect of it all would send them right back to square one. So here's the warning. If the Ravens shake things up, expect them to come knocking. The question is, can Kwesi and O'Connell keep Flores in purple? Let me know what you think. This one's going to keep the Purple faithful buzzing. After all that, it's safe to say this week has been a full-on purple roller coaster. O'Connell explaining the offensive shift, Hawkinson becoming the quiet symbol of sacrifice, rumors about a linebacker reinforcement, the quarterback debate heating up, and now Flores' name in the mix for another team. It's been a lot for one fan base to handle. But if there's one thing this team teaches us, it's that the Purple faithful never quit. Through injuries, criticism, and doubt, the Minnesota Vikings always find a way to fight back. It's not always pretty, but it's always passionate. And that's why we love it. Keep your eyes on the next few weeks. The bye week is here to heal the body and sharpen the mind. This team isn't perfect yet, but it's got the foundation, leadership, and fan base to keep pushing forward. Now I've got to ask, which story hit you hardest? Hawkinson's grind, McCarthy's future, or the thought of losing Flores? Drop it in the comments. This community belongs to everyone who lives and breathes the Purple faithful. And remember, just when you think you've seen it all, the Vikings find a new way to surprise us. Stay tuned, because in Minnesota, there's never a dull Sunday. SKOL Vikings, let's go!